Hello world, it's 22:11 on the 3rd of May 2014, and you know what? Astrology? Well, maybe not. Let's look at astronomy. Astronomy is the movement of the planets and the stars in the heavens. It is a science mathematically measured. Astrology is the study of those planets, of the movements of those planets in the heavens and their effects on humanity. In that light, we're going to see a real blend of the two this month because we're going to see quite a light show up there. For a start off, although you may not be able to see it clearly, Saturn is at its closest to Earth at the moment. If you've got a small telescope and you can find Saturn up there in Scorpius and Libra, then you're going to find that there's a lot of very clear views of it. You'll be able to see Saturn's moons, particularly Titan. So get yourself a little pair of binoculars or a little telescope, go and find Saturn. This month it's at its closest and brightest. The fact that it's at its closest, especially around the full moon of this month, does suggest that we will see some measurable influences from it. And Jupiter. Jupiter is just beginning to fade, but it's still so high in the sky. It's north in the sky, which is a bugger if you're in the southern hemisphere because you're only seeing it on the horizon. But in the northern hemisphere, we're seeing it so high and still bright, still the brightest object in the sky, albeit only for a couple of hours after dusk, and it's getting nearer and nearer the horizon. And the more we get towards the end of May, the more we're going to see Jupiter fade into the evening twilight. On the other side of the sky, as Jupiter sets, Mars is rising. And Mars is now getting so damn bright. It's practically, it's not red, but it's certainly a deep orange. And it's close and it's a little bit malefic. So if you can spot Mars, if you look to the south, if you're in the northern hemisphere and you look to the southeast around 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, fairly high up, you should see Mars, and that's looking interesting as well. Venus is the morning star. You have to be up to see Venus at the moment. You have to be up early, but wherever you are, if you look on the eastern horizon around 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it doesn't matter which hemisphere, you're going to see Venus, and it's getting brighter and brighter as the month goes on. And here's a special treat. This month, during May, starting about now and continuing till the end of the month, if you know where to look, you're going to be able to see Mercury. Now, Mercury is going to be a low-lying evening star. You need to look, if you're in the northern hemisphere, to the southwest just after sunset for about half an hour, and you should see a little white dot becoming brighter and brighter as we get into the middle of May, and that's Mercury. And this coming month is going to be the best time to see Mercury over the coming year. And if you need indications of all of these planets, then be aware that the moon is going to be a very good guide to the planets this month. As we speak, the moon is approaching Jupiter, and tonight and tomorrow night you'll be able to find Jupiter very easily by just looking at the moon, and that will show you exactly where Jupiter is because you'll see it just to the side of it. As we get more and more towards, say, the 10th and the 11th of May, as the moon heads into Libra, so you're going to see the moon very close to Mars. One night it'll be one side, next night it'll be the other. But if you want to spot Mars, look for the moon around the 11th of May. And the moon will pass very close to Saturn on the 14th. And this, of course, is the full moon. So whilst Saturn will not be occluded by the full moon, its light may be obscured. We're not going to see the moon with Venus or Jupiter unless, Venus or Mercury, unless you're up very early in the morning. And of course, with all of these planets being visible at this time, makes you wonder, what would the ancients have made of this? They didn't have telescopes as far as we know. And what would they have made of these lights in the sky moving against the backdrops of the stars? Would they have made legends and myths? Would they have decided that these lights have some influence on humanity and that they were gods? Did astrology come from humanity's staring at lights in the sky and attributing myth to what they couldn't understand? Probably, yes. Astronomy, astrology, they only really separated once the telescope got invented. There is no real difference. Catch you later.